This is Dan of Vagabond Buddha. We're in Tepoztlan, Mexico for the day. We're on a day tour from Cuernavaca. We're touring around Mexico, finding the best retire or live cheap destinations in Mexico. And this is a beautiful day trip. We wanted to show you this, whether you're considering Tasco or Cuernavaca or here in Tepoztlan for a place to live. So enjoy our walking tour of the old town. This is Dan of Vagabond Buddha. This is the video of us taking my Tepoztlan Mexico Old Town walking tour. There's an interactive Google map for this walking tour. Just click the link in the notes below this YouTube video to get started. At the link you'll also find day tours, restaurants, best and cheap hotels, best flights, buses and trains, and a link to the best travel or retired cheap paradise locations in the world. Okay, now let's get started with the video. So this is the Museo Tepoztlan. It's a collection by Carlos Pelser. The museum houses a unique collection of artifacts, including part of a statue of the ancient god Tepoztlan from the nearby pyramid, which we're going to show you later today. It's right here. We can head in there and take a look around. So we're inside the Carlos Pelser Museum, and I wanted to show you this piece here. Later today, hopefully we'll be hiking up to see a pyramid that's dated around 1200 AD, and I believe this is the piece of stone taken from that pyramid and kept safely here in this museum. Tepoztlan, the city we're in, is said to be the birthplace of Quetzalcoatl. It's a feathered serpent god. Evidence of the existence is documented, of this god is documented as early as 1000 BC. Anyway, this stone was found up there in the pyramid we're going to show you, and that's one of the things that makes this museum so distinguished, and there's other pieces here also. And this collection at this museum is all the collection of Carlos Pelser, who collected indigenous artifacts and then donated this to the city. And as you can see, it's worth a visit. Thought you'd enjoy seeing this beautiful colonial wall with ferns growing out of it. I certainly found it fun. Well, it's fun at where Chenghoi's going. It's a beautiful little city. Loving these skies. This is the pathway to the ex-convent of Tepoztlan. Built by the Dominicans, or under the direction of Dominicans, by the natives. I was unable to verify whether or not the natives were forced to build it as slaves under the Accommodations law, which is this law of the Spanish crown where when conquistadors captured a place, they were given a certain number of slaves from each community, and they didn't get to pick the slaves. The local leader would get to pick the slave, and then when they needed work done, they would go to the local leader, and they would arrange to have the local leader would arrange to have whatever work was required done. And in return they were taught Spanish and protected from invaders, which of course there wasn't many invaders attacking the indigenous people once Spain got here. The trouble was pretty much just Spain, with few exceptions. So this is Museo e Centro de Documentación e Convento de Tepoztlan, and it was the ex-convent built by the Dominicans, and dates back about 500 years. And as you can see, the grounds around here are very beautiful. They begin to take care of them and maintain them. And somewhere here there's a museum. We'll hunt it down and see what's inside.
Over there.
Oh, there's stuff inside too. That must be the documentation museum. Oh, lovely. Inside the ex-convent, you have a nice selection of local artists' designs being displayed here. Some of them reflecting earliest or traces of indigenous sentiments. Some of them purely modern. Very bright, as you can see. Mexico always reminded me of India for that reason. The colors, the spicy food, and the interest and attentions paid to family. Those two cultures seem to have a lot of parallels. I love this work done here on the ceilings. Looks like some of it's had some restoration, some of it's original. They're calling this the patio of cloister, which I believe translates into the cloister, the courtyard of the cloister. Cloister, of course, is where the monks lived, so the Dominican monks, this would have been their housing area, and it's a beautiful place. The years have had their way with this art inside the convent, but it's still spectacular. These, of course, are the Dominican monks. There's a bookstore on the left side, and it's really a charming place. If I recall, it's 1580. That's when this was completed. So the gentleman at the bookstore said that the documentation museum for the convent and church had been closed for about a year or two, so that's the update. So you don't need to memorize any of this, it's all in links. Just click the link below this YouTube video and it'll take you to the Vagabond Buddha webpage, and everything we visit today, there's Google links and it talks about it. So just enjoy the video, and when you're ready to take the tour, click the link. There's even a walking tour to take you to all these places. So this is the entrance to the Church of the Nativity, the Church of Tepoztlan, and the convent you've already seen. All of that was completed in 25 years. In the year 1580 it was completed by natives under the direction of the Dominican monks. And so now we're exploring the church grounds. And by the way, the central market is right behind us. We'll sneak in there on the way out, hopefully. And there are pews out here, which tells me that the church is being renovated and that they're holding service outdoors in front of the church while it's being renovated. So we may only get to see the grounds here today. Looks like they're closed for renovation, huh? We're still going to look at the front of it. So it's Tuesday and the church is being renovated. So it's not a service day, it's just shut because they're renovating. These are the original bells. They date back to 1580. So this is an artisan market right in front of the gate of the church. There's a link provided. So you'll get to see both markets. Just showing you this wall. It's kind of fun. Get to see both markets on the tour, but you're going to want to come on a weekend to see the artist market. This is probably a bustling place on weekends, but on a Tuesday before lunch it's not overly exciting. And the market we just walked through is between the central plaza and the church. And they're calling this Chinola Tepozteco. I don't know if that's named after someone or what, but that's what Google shows it on the map. So there's a few Europeans with ponytails. Let's see who they're honoring. Neither of these busts are labeled, so I don't know who they're honoring. Alright, we're gonna go find lunch. Chimpo's going for some roasted corn here. They have boiled or roasted. They also have a soup. What is it? Is it salsa? Oh, it's queso. Queso and limon, or cheese and lemon, as you and I would call it. Life is good. It's simple. Sometimes the simpler it is, the better. I'm having a corn soup, and Chumboy's having corn on the cob. We're both having a little queso, and mine has some hot pepper.
Yeah, I try to not eating hot, spicy today because I'm not feeling that well. I cannot always, try the street food for you. No, actually for Daniel HBO.
Yeah, it's part of your torture, though. You have to. We're gonna have to get something terrible for you to eat next.
I have to eat clean. It's only corn with the lemon juice, lemon and the queso.
It's delicious. All right. Whenever you come to Mexico, you want to go to the main square and look and see what is up, sort of like just posters. There's some live music here. There's a tour, a night tour, a magic night tour, and there's a live play going on. That one's probably passed because they ripped off the date. There's live things going on. You want to support the arts, then check it out. So when you leave the church and go through the market and you're in the main square, you just keep walking and you'll run into a street, and that street dead ends, and you turn right at it and you walk to the right and you'll start seeing these signs. Pyramid! You just stay on that road. There's no turns required. At least till you're out of the city. So. Buenas tardes. It's a charming place. There's even a beautiful old church here on the walk up to the pyramid. Chung Hoi just snuck in there. I was saying to Chung, in the US we call this a hippie town, and Tasco a yuppie town. That's a bit of a stretch, but not too far from true. It's a fun little town. Honestly, I think I would take this over Cuernavaca. Probably Tasco over here. Maybe, hard to say. I have to come stay in both for a week or two. Just keep going till you get to the mountain, then start hiking towards the pyramid. It's known as a weekend place. It's a big party spot. Looks like Andrea Bungalows here. Big gate. You want to stay right near the pyramid. We're starting the ascent up the mountain. As you can see, there's, or here more like, we're surrounded by water now, and this is the rainy season. It usually starts raining every day around 5 or 6, goes for an hour or 2. So we're trying to beat that. It's 2 now. We want to round trip this by 5, no later than 5. Along the way there's a bunch of stores selling liquids. So no shortage of water. So this is the stairs turn to more natural rock. Super cool trees. And then look at this wall. It's just straight up. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, could you please like the video, leave a comment below, share on social media, or subscribe to our channel? All of those actions would help increase our standings on the search engines, which would help our business grow, and we can keep traveling. Thanks so much for taking the time to do that. El Tepoztlan Pyramid. There's a steep trail that leads up to this Aztec Tepoztlan Pyramid on a cliff over the town. The temple has a 6-meter high platform supporting a 3-meter base. Sculpture of Tepoztlan Mexico was probably kept in one of the small rooms on top. That was the god of drunkenness and fertility. The temple attracted pilgrims from as far south as Guatemala. Some estimate the temple was built in about 1452 based on items found at the site, but the temple itself cannot be carbon dated because it's made of stone. Path from town took about an hour. We probably stopped for 2 breaks of no more than 2 or 3 minutes each, and now we're at the top. And we came out on Tuesday because we wanted to avoid the crowds. Honestly, I was a little afraid of being in the wilderness, but we've never really had a moment when we didn't have people around us, even on a Tuesday. So there's snacks on the way up and drinks for the first maybe 20 minutes. And then after that, it's just pure rock stairs to the top here of the pyramid. I'm going to climb this in a minute, but I thought I'd show you the sides first. And it's just, as you can see, it's an extraordinary view of the city below. And that is the temple, the large building in the center there, completed by the Dominican monks, well, actually by the natives under their instructions in 1580. It took about 25 years, as I say. And the mountains here are actually quite gorgeous. It's very green and beautiful, as you can see. The temple we were just at celebrates the Aztec god of pulque. It's an alcoholic beverage. Pulque is a wine made from agave that dates back to the Mesoamerican period. The drink was considered sacred and could only be consumed by the approved classes of people, the wealthy controlling class and the priests. The Spanish later used another form of agave fermentation to create tequila and mezcal. The Mesoamerican period began in about 7,000 before Christ, and it's the transition from hunter-gatherer cultures to sedentary agricultural villages. This occurred geographically in North America from about central Mexico down to Costa Rica. And the wine fermentation occurred in about the last 1,000 to 2,000 years of the Mesoamerican period. That's what that temple's all about up there. It's about a god who they worshipped for fertility and drunkenness, literally. Isn't that kind of fun? This completes our walking tour. Remember, there's an interactive map that you can use to take this tour. Just click the link in the notes below this YouTube video. At that link, you'll find how to make money online or travel or retire cheap all over the world, including Mexico. Make sure to subscribe at Vagabond Buddha or our YouTube channel to receive all of our travel and lifestyle updates. This is Dan of Vagabond Buddha. Thanks for listening. The world is your home. What time will you be home for dinner?